Hi, and welcome to this astrology weekly forecast, week number 3, which runs from January 13 until January 19. So let's dive in and see what this week has in store for us. So there we go. And we'll move up to here. All right, there we go. And I think yes, okay, so this was the first screen. Right. Okay, so there are some interesting things happening this week. And I think the first thing that we see is that there is a full moon in Cancer. And this is sometimes called the wolf moon. And it is said that the wolf moon comes from the Celtic tradition. Although in the Celtic tradition, the January full moon is often called the silent moon, which is kind of a contradiction, isn't it? Because in some tradition, this is called the howling wolf moon, because it used to be the time of year where a lot of wolves were howling. Now, getting back to the meaning of this full moon in Cancer, what we see here is that the sun is in the sign of Capricorn, which represents the father archetype, and the moon is in Cancer, which represents the mother archetype. So this full moon is related to our ancestors, our parents, our family, our roots. And it's quite interesting that this full moon has is a conjunction, is in a conjunction with the Mars-Pluto opposition. Let me show it. So here we have the sun, and here is Pluto. Now, the sun is still in Capricorn, and Pluto is on the first degree of Aquarius, but it is a conjunction. Not a very strong one, but it is a conjunction. And this is called an out of sign conjunction because they're still in different signs. And opposite Pluto, we have Mars here just in the sign of Cancer, and Mars is retrograde at the moment. And this opposition between Pluto and Mars, we've mentioned it before. It's about anger issues coming to the surface, and how do we deal with our emotions around anger. But it's also about authority, especially now that it is conjunct the sun, because the sun is like the archetype of the king and our inner king. So it's about our inner authority and how do we deal with our inner authority. And this is quite interesting because the full moon in Cancer is also about emotions and how we deal with it and how we have learned to deal with our emotions by the way that we were brought up and by the example that we had from our parents. And the moon in Cancer represents the goddess energy, the mother goddess energy. And because of this beautiful conjunction with Pluto Mars, this goddess energy has a bit of a warrior-like energy. So this reminds me of Kali, the goddess of creation, but also destruction. And this destructive energy comes to the surface in this full moon, because there's a strong protective energy. So if you have some important planets in Cancer or in Capricorn, you may feel this energy like a strong need to protect your family or to protect your loved ones or your children. And this is about our roots, our ancestors, like where do we belong, and to which family do we belong, and how do we fit into our family system. This is also about family systems and how we relate to that. So this is a very interesting week. Now, let's move on to the next screen because there's a lot more going on, of course. Okay, so we mentioned the full moon in Cancer, and we mentioned the sun opposite Mars energy. and the Sun-Pluto conjunction, which is, of course, both opposite Mars. So this is the warrior energy. Now, I don't mean to say that this relates to war, but it is about finding that energy within yourself that makes you stand your ground and make sure that you protect yourself and your family and your ideas and your values. And so it's also about staying true to who you are and to dive deep into yourself, into your inner being, to find that strength that may not always be apparent. So it's also about finding your strength, which is a good thing, I think. And there's another interesting transit happening at the moment, and this is about Venus. Now, Venus is still in Pisces, and it is making a square to Jupiter in Gemini. Now, Jupiter is also called our healer, our inner healer. And within the birth chart, it shows what we need to find healing. Now, as a transit Jupiter also reflects the things that we can find to heal ourselves. And now Jupiter is in Gemini, so the healing is in the element of air, which refers to fresh air, clean air, but also communication, and also the ideas that we have around health issues. So this means that this is a perfect time to heal physical issues with our mind. Now, isn't that wonderful to know as a quantum healing practitioner? So this is also about motivating ourselves and setting a different mindset on a health issue. So this is about healing through communication. And now the air energy also refers to the air in nature. So making sure that you breathe in enough air. So go outside, go for a walk, but also work with plant-based remedies like essential oils, for example. They also reflect the air element. There's another interesting aspect to the Venus Jupiter square, and this is about abundance because Venus is about harmony, beauty, but it's also about our material values and about creating beautiful things or surrounding ourselves with beautiful things. And when Jupiter and Venus are working together, they are usually looking for abundance and luxury. But when there is a square, there's oftentimes a bit of a tension between these two, which could reflect itself by spending too much money, for example, or eating too much. So this is also a good week to keep an eye on yourself when you're spending money or when you're eating. And I think we usually have that in the December month, haven't we? But this week it is important. Well, important if you want to stay healthy, that is, to find your balance and to set certain boundaries. And then we get to the Venus-Saturn conjunction, which is also interesting. So here we have Venus in Pisces, and it is in a conjunction with Saturn. And this is interesting because Venus is about love and harmony and how we would like to receive love and how we would like to express love. Saturn is about boundaries. So this conjunction can point out that it is important to set boundaries within relationships, for example. But Saturn in Pisces isn't very good at setting boundaries. So this usually reflects the theme of too little boundaries, and maybe it's important to keep an eye on how you deal with boundaries within relationships, and also again to how you would like to express your emotions within relationships and how you would like to express your love Now, usually Venus in Pisces is very kind, loving, compassionate, very gentle, and Saturn can help a bit by making sure that you also keep your energy to yourself and you don't lose your own energy um, by focusing too much on other people. So this can be really beautiful, healthy transit, this Venus Saturn conjunction. But it is about boundaries. So for some people, depending on your own chart, of course, this could mean that it's important to keep an eye on your boundaries. And for other people, it can help you just to relax a little bit more and to be a bit more open. It is interesting that they are both in the sign of Pisces, of course, which is also related to water in nature. And but Saturn has been in Pisces for quite some time now, and so the water element and how it relates to flooding, where the boundaries are lost, has been happening for a while now, and it will continue, um, yeah, to do so for a while. But for this week, it means looking at how you express your love and uh, well, to wonder if you need some boundaries there or if you need to be a little bit more flexible around your boundaries. Because when people have Venus Saturn conjunction in the birth chart, they usually find it difficult to show their affection and they tend to withhold their love for a little bit, or they may find it difficult to show it um, well with words, but they do have this strong sensitivity and ability to love because that's Venus in Pisces. That's about unity consciousness. That's about universal love and knowing that we are all connected and how we can all love um, each other because eventually there's one consciousness and which we are all a reflection of. Okay, so let's see if I haven't forgotten anything. No, I think I've mentioned everything. So this is it for now, and thank you for watching. And we'll continue next week with another interesting forecast for the week ahead. So thank you and bye.